What's up, guys? Comic book debate here, and today we're going to be reacting to all the news that came out on Henry Cavill and Superman. So it's kind of going to be a reaction video from the Farooqi Bros. So as always, my name is Shiraz Farooqi, and I'm joined by my brother Zayan. What's up, guys? My cousin Umar.
What's up?
And my other cousin Samir.
Okay.
So much news dropped today, and it's been, to use one of Umar's favorite words, it's been a roller coaster, from beginning to end. I mean, the second we woke up, I think, what is it, like by 9:30 a.m., 9 a.m.,
Twitter was blowing up.
Twitter was blowing up. The Hollywood Reporter put out a huge exclusive article, and it was basically saying that Henry Cavill has exited the role of Superman from the DC Extended Universe, and that WB is looking to focus on characters like Supergirl, as well as potentially look for new actors to play Superman. So this was, as you can probably imagine, and if you guys listen to this, probably you're part of it, it was completely melting the fandom, and critics, bloggers, fans, everyone from across the spectrum were reacting to this in extremely divisive ways. And throughout the day, more news dropped. But let's just go through it kind of like piece by piece. Just your reaction to when the first news dropped in the morning, the Hollywood Reporter article. I'll start with Zion. What did you think about that?
Yeah, so I mean, we knew that Warner Bros. And Henry Cavill have been in negotiations for some time, but I think this news just completely blindsided all of us. And I think we didn't expect it to either, be this outcome or even the news to come out this fast. A lot of us thought he'd be making an appearance in Shazam, so we didn't know what was going on. I was just so confused. I woke up and I saw the tweet, and I don't know what was going on.
So, Umar, why don't you jump in? What was your reaction to the first piece, the first article that came out this morning?
Yeah, I was in school when I saw the article come up on Twitter, and our group chat, of course. My first reaction was, this is the end. It's the end.
No, I feel that.
Get rid of Henry Cavill. You get rid of. You're already having problems signing Batman. Get rid of Henry Cavill. It's basically you're gonna have to reboot them. So that was my first reaction. Was basically to the end times.
Man, and I feel that right there. It's just crazy, man. Like that beginning reaction. I mean, you know how much all of us are fans of Superman, and we heard it throughout the pod. If you listen to our podcast, you'll know that we really talk about him, and we spent a little while, a few podcasts ago, really discussing Henry Cavill's contract situation at the time. Samir, what did you think about that morning news when you first found out that Henry Cavill's probably gone as Superman?
Just like Umar, I was sitting in class when the group chat started blowing up with messages. So I didn't really see it until after. When I did see it, I was pretty shook by it. I loved Henry Cavill's performance as Superman. So it's kind of sad to see how low the DCEU has fallen.
And no, I feel you right there, Samir. I mean, just to give my reaction, and I'm the resident Superman fan of the group. I mean, we all love Superman, but yeah. But, when I saw it, and I was the one actually reporting the news live on Comic Book Debate or Twitter, just give us a follow if you haven't. Basically, just you get through all these emotions, because I think if you see what I talk about, what I write about, movies like Man of Steel, like Batman v Superman, mean so much to me. And Henry Cavill's performances as Superman in both of these films were very powerful, very strong, and a deviation from what we've seen before and a fresh take, And all that becomes disappointing, because after Justice League, we were waiting for the next Superman film. And we're always talking about, either personally or on the chats or on our podcast, that how much we want a Man of Steel 2 and how much we want to see a Superman solo film. I think we haven't gone even one podcast without saying it one time, though. Yeah, we would love to see another Superman movie. And this basically crushed it all in one shot. I mean, it's very different from the Ben Affleck thing, where we've been slowly getting hints over the course of almost 2 years. I mean, the second Batman vs. Superman came out, we were already getting rumors that Ben Affleck wanted to leave the role. So that was 2 straight years of kind of letting you know that Affleck is not interested, or talks are breaking down, or something's not working out. For the Henry Cavill thing, it's a very different situation where it was almost a blind side, like how it came out, and for especially for fans. And honestly, if you saw like the reactions from everybody, it was not just the fans. People who despised his films as Superman were all up in arms saying that this was the wrong move. Like you shouldn't be letting a guy like Henry Cavill go.
I mean, it was trending worldwide.
Yeah, it's trending worldwide. And on the day of where Apple was announcing their new iPhone, Henry Cavill and Superman, two different trends, were right there, 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the top 4 slots worldwide all day long. Even right now, it's up there in top 10. So there's no doubt about it that it created a lot of noise, a lot of anger, a lot of sadness from the fandom, because Superman's like the bedrock of the DCEU, and Henry Cavill was the first superhero of this universe. So if you lose Superman, like Samir said, you lose the DCEU. That's it. You know, like it's not much you can build on. Of course, you have Wonder Woman, but Superman was the center, especially because the first 3 films, not the first 3 films, but the first trilogy per se of the DCEU was all centered on Superman. You know, his birth, his death, his rebirth. It's a whole story going on. And now suddenly you're out of a Superman with intentions of casting a new one. So that was my initial reaction. And I was, again, shocked just like the rest of you guys. So let's move on to the second wave of news, right? So taking you through the timeline, it's people are getting more and more angry. Then Henry Cavill's manager, Danny Garcia, she put out a statement saying the cape is still in his closet and to expect a statement from Warner Brothers soon. So as you can imagine, and I'll maybe just ask Zion what he thought about that one comment. I mean, going through the timeline, what did you think about when Danny Garcia first said that? You know, before we actually got Warner Brothers' statement. Actually, to save time, we can actually talk about that. Literally, then half an hour after Danny Garcia's comment, Warner Brothers came through with what I consider one of the weakest statements you can come up with. Like, oh, we respect Henry Cavill. That's it. They didn't answer yes, didn't answer no. Team is absolutely garbage, you know, as far as I'm concerned. But Zion and Umar and Samir, you can all kind of like jump in when you want. What did you guys think about it?
Yeah, I mean, so just to jump in, first, yeah, the Warner Bros. Thing was just pathetic. It was just like an empty cookie cutter message. They could have placed anybody's name in there. It would have been no difference. I think that was just their very, very cheap way of trying to control the situation. In terms of Henry Cavill's manager, I mean, there's been so many conflicting reports. First with the Hollywood Reporter saying it's done. Then with his manager saying, oh, it's still a possibility, maybe in the future. I mean, obviously she's a much closer situation. They're trying to just, I think it's a whole thing of trying to control the PR, control the situation. And at this point, I don't know what to do.
I mean, I think Warner Brothers has a problem with trying to figure out how to get news out.
Yeah.
And they don't know what the hell they're doing. That's the main point of all of this, is that they don't know what they're doing. You know, someone's leaking. It was a leak, right? Basically, it was a leak.
Yeah, one side leaked it. Either Warner Brothers leaked it or
someone
Henry
leaked
Cavill's
it to the
team.
press.
Yeah.
It could have easily been Henry Cavill's side, just to show them that the world wants a Superman movie. But not only do they want a Superman movie, they want him as Superman. So, they don't know what they're doing. So when there's a sigh of relief when the agent tweets that, you know, the cape is still in his closet. You know, they're still going through. I'm sure they're still negotiating, or if they're not negotiating anymore. Like the statement that Warner Bros. Put out about no decisions being made, and they have great respect for Henry Cavill. I don't know what the hell that even means. Like that's like one of those things that it really doesn't have anything to do with the situation. The first part just answers that okay, they haven't made any decisions yet, but I don't know. They're lost. They're a little lost.
They're confused. I'm telling you. And Samir,
the message I get is that they don't really feel any kind of urgency when it comes to making the movies that the public actually wants. You know, the public wants a Superman movie. If they were to announce something tomorrow, people would go crazy. People would love it. But it seems like they don't know what the public wants, or either they're not willing to give the public what it wants. They want to do their own thing, and that's why they failed. the DC universe, no matter which side of the coin, we love Batman v Superman, we love Man of Steel, but the DC universe has failed. It's failed in in a lot of ways, you know. So, but Superman is the one good thing. I don't know why you would try to remove that. You know, you should do everything in their power to retain him as.
Exactly.
So I mostly agree with what Umar said overall, and just to see how the Warner Brothers PR team is just so bad. I can't even express how bad they are. They're terrible at handling like bad news like this.
Oh, I agree. I agree 100%. The PR firm at WB, they need to get worked, man. How to like control situations. Anytime something bad happens or any bad news comes out of the DC universe,
And there's been a lot lately.
and there's been a lot. There was something bad comes up. They don't know how to control it. They just let the bloggers and the critics make their own story about it. They spin it really poorly. And I kind of want to jump on Umar's point before we get to the last few points of this video. WB doesn't even know or realize that people want a Superman movie. Like, they're that level of confused. If you think about it, Superman is a flagship character. He's right up there with Batman and Wonder Woman as the most profitable. I mean, if you look at all comic book characters ever in the history of comics, what three heroes make the most money? Number one is Batman. Number two is Spider-Man. Number three is Superman. So we're talking about the top three superheroes commercially, how much money they make, right? And Superman films alone have generated a lot of money. Just Man of Steel and BVS is 1.5 billion right there, right? 1.6 billion. So you're pretty much right there in terms of the moneymaker, but WB refuses to acknowledge it. And one of the reasons I think that talks broke down so heavily was that even if they signed Henry Cavill to a deal, they didn't want to make a Superman movie for 4 or 5 years. Like, you want to shelve Superman for 4 or 5 years. Henry Cavill's 35 right now. In 4 or 5 years, he'll be 40. So everyone has their age limit too. Like, you want to make Superman movies while he's kind of like in his younger stage or he's still maturing. You want to make certain stories. I think someone pointed this out on social media, but there's a reason in 40 years of Superman movies, starting from Chris Reeve till now, they still haven't made any Superman movie that didn't have Lex Luthor as Zod. Like, they don't know how to branch out. They haven't made Brainiac. They haven't even touched on Darkseid. There's so many Superman villains you can use, and they're still stuck on Lex Luthor, still stuck on Zod, and they're still stuck on not making the Superman movie that everybody wants. Like, it's not like this is a very commercial hero, and they're botching it, you know? By now, Henry Cavill's been casted since 2013. We should have had at least 4 or 5 Superman movies by now. It's been that many years. We should have had more Superman movies, but they refuse to put it out there.
Dude, let's be honest. They with this ride would have been a little bit more smoother if they just let freaking Zack Snyder make his film.
Exactly.
Let's be honest. It all goes back to Justice League, the ripple effects of Justice League. It all goes back to that. They messed up. Really hard.
Yeah, so I agree on that. I think Zack Snyder, if you look at, like, you know, every universe has like an architect, someone who's like leading it. You have Kevin Feige working it with Marvel, and then you had Zack Snyder working at DC, and people don't give Zack Snyder enough credit because when he was running the ship, it was running smoothly. Like, he had a universe planned out. He had a specific track line from Man of Steel to Justice League 2. He had not only his own arc planned out.
Did he have like a contained like 5-film universe?
Yeah, he had his own film universe, but when that became opened up, he also had Patty Jenkins working on Wonder Woman. He had
the Flash, he had Aqua, he had freaking Shazam, Part 2 Justice League, Cyborg, Green Lantern, like everything.
All that was in, yeah. And look at right now. Right now, we're getting Cyborg most likely will be canceled. From what I'm hearing, that movie's not coming out anytime soon. The Flash movie's been through 55 directors. Maybe another one's gonna leave. Who knows what? That movie's in complete limbo. The Batman, there is no Batman. So obviously we all trust Matt Reeves because he made some masterpieces, but there is no Batman right now. So there's, again, complete
he's
confusion.
gonna have issues too. When he's gonna cast someone else as Batman, he's gonna have to go through that.
Yeah,
like he's gonna have to go through that. That's what I mean. Like, everything now is tainted in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's it. So, like, that's the thing. You lost the architect of your film universe. I mean, I don't know what do you expect is going to happen, but even then, even if, let's say, executives felt that Zack Snyder's not the right fit, and then after Justice League, obviously debacle, but let's say you move forward, now you're in the Walter Hamada era, and even Hamada seemed like this was actually the first big mess up that Hamada did, because between Zack and Hamada, we had the Jeff Johns run when he was the leader of the film universe, and we had his run was just 2 movies, Wonder Woman. He was part of Wonder Woman and then Justice League. That's all right. And of course, I think Aquaman counts as part of his run as well. And then Hamada's run is really lining up Shazam, lining up Birds of Prey and stuff like that. But keeping it on topic for Superman, I think they messed up hard. Especially now we're going in timeline. We're at the point right now where we got the WB statement and things look bad again. Now for a few hours between the statement and the next part, we got some news from Deadline. We could spend just a few seconds on it. Deadline reported that Michael B. Jordan is one of the people that WB is considering to replace for Henry Cavill to become Superman. All right? And we're all fans of Michael B. Jordan. I mean, he has a very impressive career going all the way from
Creed. We ain't stupid.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Is that some kind of joke? Honestly, where did that come from?
Now, here's what I'm thinking. Like, here's what I'm thinking. You all jump in. I think it's a very small thing, but I think WB put that out there just to see what sticks, just to see, because WB saw how bad Damage Control was. They saw everybody was losing their minds that Henry Cavill is gone as Superman. So they put out a report through Deadline saying, oh, we might get Michael B. Jordan, to see what people will say. But as you saw on social media, that didn't fly, and it backfired. And actually, from what I can tell, they didn't even have one conversation with Michael B. Jordan about it. They're just throwing whatever they can, seeing what sticks. So, honestly, that was just strange. But if anyone have any reaction to that, like a quick one?
I mean, I completely agree with all the points. I mean, you can consider that clickbait at its finest.
Yeah, it's clickbait.
So, I don't know about Michael B. Jordan playing Clark Kent, but I know way back in like August, I made this joke on Vero about how Michael B. Jordan should play Val Zod for the Earth 2 Superman. So if that happens, I called it. So.
I forgot that noise.
So, I mean, let's just wrap this up and get to the final point, which just happened literally 15 minutes before we sat down to record this. So, Henry Cavill, we've all been waiting for a Henry Cavill announcement. And he drops a very, what is it, cryptic? What would you call that? A humorous video of, like, joyful music in the background and him holding up a Superman action figure while wearing a shirt that says, Krypton on it. Krypton Fitness Crew. So, what do you guys make of that? Like, what do you think about that as like a way to end the day? Like, it's like I said in the beginning of this video, it's been like a roller coaster. Like, we went from everything's over to, oh, maybe there's some hope, to no, there is no hope, to now, oh, Henry Cavill's making light of this. He's making a joke of it. So what do you guys think about it?
I think he made it clear that, in all honesty, if you want my honest answer,
yeah,
he leaked the shit to the press. He's just playing games now. It was a negotiating tactic from the start. Now Warner Brothers knows that they need him. If they were to recast, people would have a problem with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think people... Samir, what do you think about it?
I think he's toying with us.
Is that a fact?
No, yeah. Obviously, if you see the thing where he's holding an action figure, and he's saying, what would he say? He says, everyone have the caption open. He said, like, oh, hashtag, today was fun or something. Hashtag Superman.
Crazy. Hashtag Superman or something.
Yeah, so I think he is toying with us in a sense. Now, if the question is who leaked it to what, the person who wrote the Hollywood Reporter article, the person who wrote it, they said that WB was the company that severed the ties with Cavill, not the other way around. Like, WB said, we're not interested anymore after the talks broke down after a while, right? And this does give some cause, like Umar said, to think that probably Cavill's team might have leaked this to the press. If they leaked this to the press in the morning, let's say, hypothetically, all talks died for real. And they probably did die for real because we had a mutual source that said that, in late August, that talks are really breaking down between Cavill and WB. So let's say talks broke down to the point where there actually was a chance that he's done as Superman. Obviously, WB pulls a PR spin and they say, "Oh, we're making a Supergirl movie," to kind of spit in Cavill's face and say, "We don't need you. We can make any super universe movie. We don't need you to be here." Then Cavill responds by saying, "Oh yeah, I can go on The Witcher, which is like one of the most popular book and video game series, and I'll be fine here. I'm making my money. I'm making quality content." So they're all kind of stabbing each other back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Like, who has the edge right now on a leverage play? Who can make the more money? Because obviously, it's all business, as we know, and money is the most important thing to both parties. For both Cavill and for WB, they want money. So imagine that leverage play. Now you get to the point where talks die. So Cavill's team probably said, and again, it's hypothetically, we're not saying we know anything, we're just saying hypothetically, Cavill's team probably said, all right, let's put it out there to the press that Cavill's done as Superman. And what happened? He's trending #1 on Twitter. Everyone's talking about it. And surprisingly, not even surprisingly, but everyone, critics, fans, bloggers, news sites.
People love the films, people hated the films.
Everybody. They all said, we want Cavill back. You know what I'm saying? So technically, it worked. Like, if they were trying to show WB that, look, people want Henry as Superman, they did their job in that sense, right? So in that sense, you can consider it, a positive. That's like the half glass full version. Then the half glass empty version is that if WB leaked it, they wanted to show Cavill that we don't need you, but then that kind of backfired too. But again, like, nothing's in stone. Like, even as we're talking right now, everything's up in the air. Like Umar said, like, we don't know exactly what's gonna happen. You know, we don't know if Cavill's putting this up again as more leverage play. Like, everything's leverage. So I guess that's pretty much it, guys. Like, this, not a regular podcast, but I thought it's important for the four of us, for the Farooqi brothers, to react to this news because, again, we're all Henry Cavill fans and we all want him back. So
I mean, let's hope this doesn't become like the Ben situation where this drags on. There's rumors upon rumors where nobody knows what's going on. There's no definitive answer. Let's just hope we get a clear statement that actually, has some meaning to it soon.
Yeah, if they want to succeed, they need Henry Cavill. It's as simple as that. If they want to fail, honestly, if they were to try to fail, then the easiest way to fail is to recast him. It's the easiest way to fail. So if they want to fail, that's just gonna happen. And if they want to succeed, then they gotta get him. They gotta get him somehow.
I think he deserves to play the role. I think he wants to play it, but I think Warner Brothers is just acting up heavy. So they need to get it together.
yeah, no, I agree now. So just to wrap it up, and then, guys, like, I think I speak for all four of us that I think we all want Henry Cavill back as Superman. I think we want him to play Superman for years to come. Like, in the best case scenario, we want Henry Cavill to be like Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans. Like, we want to see Superman in 7, 8, 9, 10 movies before he finally decides to retire. Like, eventually, he's not going to be Superman forever. Eventually, you retire. Eventually, you move on. But I think he has an opportunity where if he can play Superman from now for the next 10 years, and when he's 45, 46, 47 years old, they can do like a Final Kingdom Come film and kind of end like the Superman saga. But obviously right now, that's very wishful thinking. Things are very much up in the air. No contracts have been signed. The Shazam cameo that was rumored for him is not happening anymore. So a lot of things that could have happened didn't happen. But again, we're trying to be optimists here. So let's hope that we see Superman for years to come in strong, captivating stories. So that's it for us, guys. That's from myself, from Zayan, from Umar, and from Samir. This is the Farooqi Bros. See you guys next time.